Okay, this is Mr. Walsh, your driver education instructor, and we still have a couple more videos to do. I've got around 15 minutes of time right now before my next class, basically. So I'm going to share these videos with you until that time. And we are going to go right to the questions after we watch the video.
Winter is here, and driving conditions can turn treacherous. Believe it or not, there's over 200,000 crashes a year in wintry conditions. Your best bet is to stay off the road when the weather turns. But for those times when you've got to be behind the wheel in wintry conditions, we've come up with these essential tips to help get you where you're going safely. The first thing to remember is to slow down. Any action you make with the car is going to take longer to accomplish. So make sure you drive at safe speed and leave added room, about twice your normal following distance.
Okay, so very, very good advice there. We want to slow down in conditions like these with snow on the roads and leave twice as much room for following distance. And if we can avoid it altogether, it's even better.
To the car in front of you. This will give you more time to react in a hazardous situation. Make maneuvers that are slow and deliberate, not jerky. Drive as if you have a hot cup of coffee on your dash that you're trying not to spill. Don't be lulled into a false sense of security with a car that has all-wheel drive. While an all-wheel drive system can help your car get going in snowy conditions, it has no added benefit when stopping.
And that's absolutely true, guys. We all have four-way stopping in our vehicle. Four-wheel drive will help you get started, keep you from getting stuck, and it may also help with steering and maneuvering around turns and recovering, but it does not help as far as stopping your vehicle. Stopping distance is not going to change with four-wheel drive.
All cars have four-wheel brakes. Let your anti-lock brakes do their thing. Anti-lock brakes give you the shortest braking while also maintaining your ability to steer. Get used to the pulsing sensation that occurs when your anti-lock brakes are active, and when they're working, maintain firm pressure on the pedal.
Okay, I hope everyone saw that there with the wheels. They stopped spinning, then they started spinning, then they stopped spinning. This is anti-lock brakes. That's your anti-lock brake system, and it's designed to maximize your traction so that you can maneuver while you are exerting the maximum amount of braking, okay, so that you can slow down as much as you can and maneuver at the same time.
Even when you're taking precautions, you can still find yourself in a situation where your car begins to slide out of control. If this happens, here is the best way to get back in control of your vehicle. Most of us are likely to experience, because most of us drive front-wheel drive cars, is a condition called understeer, where you're turning, but the car keeps going straight.
Okay, so that was understeering right there. When we don't have enough traction to keep us tracking around that turn, and inertia makes us continue going in a straight line. Listen to what she says as far as how to, excuse us for a minute, guys.
Park Run is now in the lineup.
Okay.
Cedarhurst Park Run, but Route 4 is in the lineup, so students can be dismissed.
Thank you. Okay, so we are going to listen to what she has to say as far as recovering from understeering. Ooh.
It has no added benefit when stopped in a situation where your car begins, where you're turning, but the car keeps going straight. So if you come into the corner too fast, you come in, you turn, but the car just keeps going straight. You may have to slightly unwind in order to get the throttle.
Slightly unwind.
Stay off the throttle. When your car turns more than you intended, that's called oversteer. Similar principles apply, except this time you want to turn in the direction that the rear of the car is sliding. And again, avoid quick motions to the throttle or brake until you've regained traction. While winter driving can be hazardous and a little bit stressful, with the proper preparation and driving behaviors, you can arrive at your destination safely. For more on winter driving, check out consumerreports.org.
Okay, so I think we answered everything except for oversteer. The way to correct oversteering when the back of your car is kind of coming out, and fishtailing is to steer in the same direction that your back wheels are coming out in. Okay, bridges and overpasses, guys, in the wintertime, they freeze over faster than the rest of the roadway. And we need to be cognizant of that, especially early in the morning when actually any time of day, right? We can lose traction a lot faster on a bridge. Okay. Also, what do you notice about bridges? They often do not have shoulders. Okay. It is best to avoid driving in deep snow, but how can we prepare ourselves if we do get stuck? Let's watch this video.
Hi there, Smart Drivers. Rick with Smart Drive Test. We had a huge dump of snow here in Vernon in the last few days. I mean, a lot of snow. We probably have 18 inches of snow on the ground. The plows haven't quite been out yet because it's a holiday weekend here. It's going to be New Year's Eve. And I'm just going to go out and I'm going to show you how to drive in deeper snow. So stick around. We'll be right back with that information. Hi there, Smart Drivers. Welcome back. Rick with Smart Drive Test talking to you today about driving in deeper snow when you get it piled up at the end of a laneway and whatnot. Now, just before we get started here, Smart Drive Test helps new drivers acquire a license regardless of class and helps veteran drivers to remain crash-free. So if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and as well, hit that bell. That way you'll get instant notification when I get the videos available for you. Now, driving in deeper snow. As I said in the introduction, we've had a lot of snow here in Vernon in the last few days, and it's overwhelmed the plows because it's the holiday weekend. Last weekend was Christmas, this weekend is New Year's. And because of that, they are concentrating their efforts on the main roads. So know that. That's what they're doing. And as well, I can guarantee you that these maintenance crews have not slept in 36 hours.
This is the main road here, guys. It's not that well cleared. There's a plow up to the right there.
Driving in deeper snow. You can see here in the dash cam that this roadway has not been plowed. And so you're going to be driving in
this
deeper
looks
snow.
like a typical residential road in New York State, too.
Roads, you're going to have a bit of a pile of snow between the two lanes of traffic. You can see here.
Talking about right here, guys.
The dash cam in front of me, there's a snowbank here. Now,
that's where he was talking about. Right in here, there's this accumulation of snow that came from a plow that came through.
Very important. You need to get a bit of a run at that. So you need to make sure, you need to stop back, and you need to make sure there's no traffic coming, and you need to get a run at that before you go through that. Because if you just go through that and you stop, you're probably going to get stuck. So you need to make sure there's no traffic coming, and we get a bit of a run at it. And you see I shifted into second gear there to get over through that. Because if you don't
that's your hint there. When we're dealing with deeper snow, we need to get like some inertia going so that when we start spinning out, we're still moving out of it.
And try and get the vehicle straight into that. That way it's not going to push you around as much. Get my gear, and I go into the pile of snow.
That was another part of it. If you go straight rather than at an angle, it's going to make it faster for you to get through a deep pile of snow.
And other places where you drive out onto the beach to drive along the beach and have your beach party, getting across the soft sand, it's going to push you around in the deep snow. It's exactly like that. It's like soft sand with a four-wheel drive trying to get through that. If you're driving an automatic, just moderate throttle, okay? Just control the throttle. And again, it's snow there, and you can see we've got decent tires on the truck, so we can just keep going here. All right, so we're going to go one more place. And so you can see it's going to push you around a little bit, so don't get your speed too high. Just know that the snow is going to push you around a little bit. All right, so we've got the snowbank here.
Okay, and we're going to skip the rest of it, guys. When he says it's going to push you around a bit, here he comes to the same spot again. What he's trying to say is this. There is uneven patches in the roadway when it comes to the depth of the snow. And that's going to, our tires are going to hit this, and one tire may actually experience a lot of traction where the other one doesn't, because there's so much snow that's accumulated in front of it. And when that happens, it's going to make our car slow down on that side where the snow is deepest. Okay, and this happens quite often in places where there has not been a plow to evenly get the snow off the road. Okay. We're going to avoid the minimize, separate, and compromise questions for here, mainly because I know for a fact we just are not going to devote that much time to this video. Okay, we got the basic strategies. We want to hit deep snow straight ahead, right at a 90-degree angle. Okay, and we also need to develop some or gain some momentum or inertia to get us through deep snow and back onto the road where there's some ability for us to create some traction. Okay. True or false? Decide if each of the below statements is true or false. Rain-covered roadways create limited traction. True. Use cruise control on slippery roads for control. False. Increase following distance from other vehicles in adverse weather conditions. True. Use high beam headlights to increase visibility to others. No, we're not going to use high beams to increase visibility to others. False. Roads are most slippery when rain falls. When rain starts to fall. That is true. You should drive in the tire tracks left behind other vehicles. By other vehicles, this is true. Ball tires reduce the chance of hydroplaning. That's false. They increase it. Number 8, a sign that the brakes are wet is the vehicle pulls to one side. I don't know the answer to that. I don't think it's true. Estimate water depth by looking at parked vehicles or vehicles moving through it is the main thing. Watch other vehicles moving through standing water and see what the depth is, and then follow them if the depth is not that great. Number 10, if the windshield wipers must be used, turn on the headlights. Absolutely. Okay. Parked vehicles aren't going to help. Watch the moving vehicles going through it. Okay, I guess wet brakes means pulling to one side. I didn't know that. Okay, evasive steering. Evasive steering around an obstacle is preferred to braking at speeds above 25 miles per hour. Why? Because at braking above 25 miles per hour is just not you're going to hit it. You need to steer to avoid or evade the potential hazard because braking is going to take too much time and distance. Remember, in wet weather, sudden braking often leads to skids, like you're losing control, right? Why they say wet weather or icy weather? Because anti-lock brakes aren't going to help very much. If you lose traction, you're still going to go straight, okay? They're not going to help you that much. They help you the more traction there is in the road. In other words, the drier the road and the better the road surface, the better your anti-lock brakes are going to work. Okay, they don't work that well in slippery conditions. Acceptable methods: push-pull method, fixed hand steering method. Okay, these are methods for steering, right? And how are you going to steer when you're trying to evade something? You're just going to turn. Okay, you turn the wheel the amount that you need. 180 degrees is going to be enough, especially if you're driving quickly. Evasive braking. You may be forced in some emergency situations to brake quickly. If swerving to another space is not an option, or you fail to identify an open space, right, the last thing you got is your brakes. Okay, use the heel pivot method, right? That's how we do it all the time. We're going to slam on the brakes, okay? If you have ABS, all of us have ABS. This is my friend developed some of this, and it's not great. So it's like out of date. We all have ABS. Slam on the brakes, okay? Squeeze them, slam them on, Okay, let the anti-lock brake system work for you and come to a stop. Okay. Evasive acceleration sometimes happens, and we have to accelerate to get out of a situation. Okay. This happens when someone's merging towards us, for example. We need to accelerate to get out of this, and they don't see us because we're in their blind spot, for example. All right. Skidding. Okay, skidding is when we lose control because we are using our brakes. Okay, skidding is a situation in which your tires lose all or part of their grip on the road. This becomes dangerous at extremely high speeds. Okay, because eventually we get a little bit of control, and then our car is shooting in a direction we don't want it to go into. And this can be the result of accelerating or braking too hard. Okay, we want to avoid this. Preventing skidding, apply brakes smoothly and progressively, and don't just slam them on. Okay, make smooth, precise steering movements. Slow down well in advance of curves. Maintain speeds appropriate for the conditions out there. And avoid shifting to lower gears in slick conditions. We want to do that after we brought the car down to speed. Vehicle breakdowns. Okay, we are going to talk a little bit about the breakdowns here. Regardless of how well vehicles are maintained, there always is a possibility that they may break down with little or no warning. Being visible in these situations is critical for safety. We want to use flares or those high visibility devices, those reflective triangles. Okay, definitely put on our hazard lights, remain in our vehicle, definitely call for help, at least call 911. Okay, what to do when your car breaks down on the roadway. We are going to stop here and resume this portion of our class later on. So this is Mr. Wallace saying goodbye, and if you have an opportunity, thank a veteran today, and as always, drive safely.